The year 2021 marked the 100th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Lithuania and Switzerland and the 30th anniversary of their re-establishment, as well as the 17th century of the Lithuanian community in Switzerland. The Martynas Mažvydas National Library of Lithuania, which engages in cultural activities or in international scale, has become one of the main Lithuanian cultural institutions that plays an important role in promoting and developing cultural diplomacy. For this occasion, we offer you a glimpse into the documentary material contained in the National Library's archives.
We are a 100 years old national memory institution with varied activities and events that we organize. We attempt changing the conventional approach to the library as book storage space and represent ourselves as a multifunctional institution addressing demands of contemporary people. We also are facing challenges of digital transformation, big data, and artificial intelligence. In general, we are trying to manage digital complexity. Cultural diplomacy is one of the main priorities that was within our focus during the recent period of time. The potential for mutual benefit triggers new projects. Foreign countries see us as NewMix, a communication platform that could await them. It assists them in reaching Lithuania's people as well as their national communities living in Lithuania. Among the priorities of the National Library are promotion of culture, international and intercultural communication. It's the direction that we have emphasized within our strategies, and we are strongly determined to follow it.
The National Library has a hub of information and culture. Besides its existing traditional and new services, continues its role as an open institution fostering the principle of interaction of cultures, underpinned by cultural diplomacy, and strives to ensure opportunities for exchanging information and to maintain its leadership as a national information center by developing interinstitutional and international cooperation. In the old days, Switzerland has almost no permanent residents from Lithuania. Lithuanians came here only for study or medical purposes. One of the earliest Lithuanian students at the University of Basel was Jonas Kiška, who matriculated there in 1563. Later, he became an important figure of Lithuania. He was the elder of Samogitia and a higher-ranking statesman in Vilnius. In the 16th century, the use of other famous Lithuanian families like Masalskis, Radvila, and others also studied in Switzerland. Tadas Kosciuszko, the commander of the uprising against Imperial Russia in 1794, and as well-deserved fighter for the independence of the United States from England, also spent in Switzerland the last 2 years of his life since 1815 till 1817. As well as a popular Lithuanian and Polish poet and writer Adomas Mickevičius, Adam Mickiewicz, taught Latin language and literature at the Lausanne Academy in 1839-1840. Switzerland acquired particular importance for Lithuanians in the early 20th century during the restoration of statehood of Lithuania at the end of World War I. Lithuanians started their political activities in Switzerland in 1915 after the Lithuanian Information Bureau, led by Juozas Gabrys, was relocated from Paris to Lausanne. This agency began publish 2 monthlies, Pro-Lithuania in French and Litauen in German. These newspapers emphasized the aspiration of Lithuanian nation and the need to restore the statehood of Lithuania. Non-periodical publications were also published. The bureau was funded by the American-Lithuanian public organizations. Switzerland became the center of Lithuanian worldwide political activity. Members of the Lithuanian community in Switzerland founded a political organization, the Lithuanian National Council in Switzerland. Lithuanian political conferences were held there between 1915 and 1918. It's noteworthy that the first Lithuanian conference, which took place in 1916 in Bern, adopted a resolution demanding complete freedom and independence for Lithuania. Soon after that, the Lithuanians made the first public statement in support of complete independence of Lithuania at the Third Congress of the Enslaved Nations. A memorandum was prepared on this issue and officially sent to the governments of France, Italy, the Great Britain, and Russia through their ambassadors in Bern. From 1919 to 1946, the office of the Envoy of Lithuania operated in Bern. The first non-official representative of Lithuania was Vladas Daumantas, an activist from the Lithuanian community in Switzerland, and the first official representative was Dr. Jurgis Šaulys, later followed by Vaclavas Idzikauskas, Edvardas Turauskas, and Dovas Zaunius. The honorary consulate of Lithuania operated in Zurich in the period from 1920 to 1983. Although our state has a permanent delegate of Lithuania to the League of Nations was based in Geneva. Dovas Zaunius, Kazys Škirpa, Jurgis Savickis, and Edvardas Turauskas presented it. During the period from 1895 to 1984, a total of 160 Lithuanian students were enrolled in the University of Freiburg, considered to be the center of attraction of Lithuanians. In the first half of the 20th century, some members of the Swiss academic community, among them Josef Eret, Konstantin von Regel, Alfred Sen, Gottlieb Studerus, Franz Brender, who translated the national anthem of Lithuania into Latin, and many others moved to Lithuania and shared their knowledges with the Lithuanian youth while teaching at University of Lithuania and Vytautas Magnus University in Kaunas. Switzerland accorded de facto recognition of the Soviet occupation of Lithuania in June of 1940 and did not extend formal recognition to the office of the Envoy of Lithuania as from 1941. However, Switzerland permitted the Lithuanian representatives to retain their existing diplomatic privileges. The envoy's office of the consulate ceased their operation with the death of their representatives. Following the death of Jurgis Šaulys in 1948, the position to the envoy of Lithuania went to Albertas Gerutis, former secretary of the envoy's office. He served in this capacity until 1985. Dr. Šaulys, who was of the signatories of the Act of Independence of 16 February 1918, was buried in Lugano. The activities of Lithuanian diplomats in Switzerland were especially important during World War II. The Lithuanian Information Office operated here, and from here spread objective information to the world media about the situation in occupied Lithuania. On 28th of August 1991, Switzerland formally recognized Lithuania independence, and on 5th September of the same year, diplomatic relations between two countries were re-established. Jurgis Šaulys is probably the best as a diplomat with excellent diplomatic skills. He was also the first one to serve in this capacity in the independent Lithuania. Šaulys served as envoy to Germany, Italy, Poland, Switzerland, and the Holy See. In June 1960, Jurgis Šaulys, together with Antanas Smetona and Steponas Kairys, represented the Lithuanian nation at the Third Congress of the Enslaved Nations in Lausanne. Later, they attended the Lausanne Conference and the First Conference of Lithuanians in Bern. From 1917 to 1918, he worked in the editorial office of the newspaper Lietuvos Aidas and prepared a number of articles as the political publicist during that period. On 16 February 1918, he, together with the other members of the Council of Lithuania, signed the resolution of the restoration of an independent state of Lithuania, known as the Act of Independence of Lithuania. He prepared the copy of this document in Lithuanian and German languages in his own handwriting and addressed to the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In April-May 1990, he led the Lithuanian delegation in the negotiations with Poland in Warsaw, and in October 1925, he served in this capacity in the negotiation with Poland in Lugano, Switzerland. On 1st December 1939, he became the envoy to Switzerland and remained in this position until his death in 1948. The Presidium of the Council of Lithuania, Antanas Smetona and Justinas Staugaitis, are seen sitting. Jokūbas Šernas and Jurgis Šaulys are seen standing. Rare books and manuscripts until the Martynas Mažvydas National Library of Lithuania. Citizens of Lithuania, the Great War which plagued Lithuania for 4 years is now coming to end. 1918. The document is signed by Jurgis Šaulys, Vice President of the Council of Lithuania. Newspaper Klaipėdos Žinios, Klaipėda News, 27th January of 1924. Šaulys took care of the publishing of this newspaper from 1923 to 1924. A column in this newspaper clipping is dedicated to the affairs of Switzerland and Czechoslovakia. Newspaper Lietuvos Aidas, Echo of Lithuania, 19 February 1918. This issue of the newspaper featured the Act of Independence of Lithuania of 16th February. Professor Stasys Šalkauskis, one of the most famous Lithuanian philosopher, pedagogue, youth leader and ideologue, the last rector of Vytautas Magnus University of Independent Lithuania between the wars, and author of many books, the editor of magazines and a press associate. In 1915-1940, for 5 years, he studied at the University of Freiburg, became a doctor of philosophy. He was a great admirer to Switzerland and in many respects set Switzerland as an example of Lithuanians during period of independence of Lithuania. He has left a very clear and important mark in the history of Lithuanian-Swiss relations. Lithuanian artist Petras Kalpokas studied in Munich from 1904 to 1909. He spent a lot of time traveling in Europe, all the while painting, working and gaining experience. Hungary, Latvia, Italy, Switzerland. In 1909, Kalpokas purchased a small 3-year plot of land in Solduno near Lake Maggiore in the canton of Ticino, Switzerland. He mostly painted landscape and portraits. 3 works, 2 sketches and painting by Kalpokas directly related to Ticino and known in Lithuania. The most famous one is called pietinės Šveicarijos vaizdelis, The Landscape of Southern Switzerland, created in 1915. Two more of these paintings are the testimony of his life in Switzerland. Šveicarijos kalnai vasarą, Swiss mountains in summer, circa 1940, and Ascona Lago Maggiore sniege, Ascona Lago Maggiore in snow, between 1915 and 1917. Kazys Pakštas was a Lithuanian geographer, scientist, activist, and initiator of international movements. From 1919 to 1923, he studied in University of Freiburg and became a doctor of this university for his dissertation, Climate of Lithuania. In 1919, Pakštas served as the vice president of the Lithuanian American Society and was a member of the Lithuanian French and Lithuanian Swiss societies. The goal of the later organization was to foster the cultural and economic relations between Lithuanian and Swiss people. In September 1922, the second issue of Romuva, cultural journal edited by Stasys Šalkauskis, was published an article by Kazys Pakštas titled The Baltic Sea, the Coast of the Future Center of Civilization.
I would like to point out that cultural ties between Switzerland and Lithuania are not just memories of the past. They are also further developed and improved. Former Lithuanian ambassador to Switzerland, Vytautas Plečkaitis, who resided in Switzerland in 2005-2010, published an attractively written book, Switzerland, which we don't know, the ambassador's insights. He is also the author of another important book on Lithuania and Switzerland. Plečkaitis wrote the monograph on Jurgis Šaulys. These two Lithuanian envoys in Switzerland are also united by a common sign. They are both signatories of the Acts of Independence. Jurgis Šaulys signed our first Act of Independence in 16th of February 1918, and Vytautas Plečkaitis is one of the signatories of the Restoration of Independence of Lithuania in 11th of March 1990. Thus, the state relations between Lithuania and Switzerland are starting to count for the 2nd century.